What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Johnson kicking it down here in 1039. Hey, I'm real excited about this video we're putting together for homeroom today. The character ed theme of the month for December is caring. So we're going to put together this little video. I'm excited. We're going to go around and talk to some of the different groups and people. A lot of different people in this school do a lot of great things with caring. We don't always notice that because this stuff kind of flies under the radar, and we often overlook even some of the little things. So we're going to try and emphasize that, and we're going to go get after it. So here we go. And the big thing we're talking about is caring. How would you say that you see people care for one another as all-stars?
You know what? I see it at every practice, at every event. The kids really care for each other because they help each other with the practice. If someone's upset, the other students will help them and talk with them about, you can do it, and the kids with special needs also help other kids with special needs. And they give each other pep talks, and they say, I can do it, you can do it, and just things like that. So that really shows that they can care.
That is awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, I'm here with my friend Anthony, and Anthony and I are going to talk about one of his good friends, right? Who's that friend you were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Ethan.
Ethan?
Yeah.
And what does Ethan do with you?
I'm going to All-Stars.
Going to All-Stars?
Yeah.
How long have you guys done All-Stars together for?
Dance team All-Stars.
Dance team? Have you
Yeah.
guys done that before?
Yeah.
For how long?
I don't know.
A whole bunch of years?
Yes.
Yeah. What else do you and Ethan like to do?
Well, I go on big trip on All-Stars, ride the bus.
Ride a bus?
All-Stars.
Big trips with All-Stars?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Do you and Ethan like hang out outside of school at all? Do you guys do anything like that?
Send me Ethan on the bus.
He lets you eat with him?
Yeah.
Where do you guys go to eat?
I go Mayonnaise.
Where?
Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise.
Oh, Sweet Wendy's. Yeah, down the road. What
Yeah.
do you usually get at Wendy's when you go with him?
Nuggets from fries.
You get some nuggets and fries, huh?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
What would you say that you appreciate Ethan being your friend?
Yeah.
Cool. If you had to say anything to him right now, what would you say to him?
The hi, Ethan.
You'd say hi, Ethan. Well, I'm sure he'd say hi back.
Okay.
Anthony, you the man. Thanks.
Thanks.
Woo! He said. Ethan, tell us how that experience, that friendship with Anthony, first of all, how's caring for him, do you think, made him feel?
I'm sure it made him feel great because for students like him, it can be harder to make friends and keep them and hang out with them outside of school, just like any other typical kid. And it makes him feel accepted and wanted by peers.
Nice. All right, I'm here with Kaylee Fugate. She's a senior, and Kaylee has been a part of peer helping now for 3 years. Why don't you tell us about peer helping, Kaylee, and what that experience has meant to you?
So I've been, like you said, I've been peer helping for 3 years. It has totally impacted my life. It's made me want to be a special education teacher. I've just made like great friendships with the kids and the other peer helpers that are around. And it's just like awesome to like watch them grow from like sophomore year to now. They've just grown so much, and like watching them do that is like a blessing, and like seeing them like do stuff that they couldn't do a couple years ago. It's like, wow, like I got to be a part of that, and I got to help them. And yeah, I just love it.
Everything. I know one student in particular, the 8th grade this year, is Rylan. You want to talk about how she's kind of helped you out this year in some different ways?
So like Rylan was a student in my Algebra 2 class last year when she was a junior, and she wouldn't mind me saying this, but Rylan is not a mathematical genius. So I helped her with math, but then this year she is one of my student aides, and she helps me with the things I can't do, like sorting papers or running to the office to get my mail or things like that. One thing especially that means a lot to me is I can't walk very well. I can't walk long distances. I made it a goal after my stroke to someday to be able to walk 5K, 3 miles. And I asked a couple students to do that with me this year. I ended up doing it at the Popcorn Festival, and Rylan, as well as Abby Troyer, who is a senior this year, but she goes to CCB, so we never see her. And then Megan Chambers, who graduated last year, and a couple other college students. They got up at 7 o'clock in the morning, earlier before 7 a.m., because we had to leave like earlier because it was going to take me a lot longer than most people. And they got up and walked the 5K with me. It took us 2.5 hours, which For most people, they could walk a 5K, even though they're walking, could do it in an hour. But the fact that like Rylan and others would come out and help me do that, and like I needed them to carry my water and like my bag and just stuff I needed. And by the end, they were like I was physically holding on to them because I was really weak and really tired. And just the fact that they would do that for me. So I know sometimes like as students, you may feel like you have nothing to offer, especially maybe to adults, but like I know I'm not the only teacher who has received a lot of care during a crisis situation or just day-to-day stress of this job. So please don't sell yourselves short. You can make a big difference both to your peers and to adults in the world.
Wow, Mr. Willetts, thank you so much for sharing your story, and thank
Sure.
you for your time. Appreciate it. Rylan Jenkins, she's a senior at Beaver Creek, and Rylan has a really cool relationship with one of her old math teachers. Tell us about this teacher, Rylan.
Well, I had Mr. Willetts last year for Algebra 2.
Nice. And
Yes. And he was a good teacher.
nice.
Yeah.
And what do you guys, I mean, you aid for him this year, right? So you've gotten to spend some time with him, even though you don't have him, I know,
Correct.
for math. But what did you help him out with here in the fall when he was with this big event that he did?
Well, he wanted to walk a 2K, or was it a 5K? It was 5K. And it was his goal since he had a stroke 4 years ago, so I joined him on his journey to finish his 5K. And it was really fun.
Nice. So you, on the end of things where you were caring for him, how did that make you feel? How did that, kind of impact you, that whole experience?
It made me feel really good because I got to help him complete a really big goal. So it made him feel good, which made me feel good, and I was really happy to be a part of that moment for him.
Yeah. Rylan, if you wouldn't mind, this last question, if you wouldn't mind just talking about how, is it easy or hard to care for people, whether it's other students or even other teachers or other people in the building?
It's so easy. You just have to take initiative for it because once you find someone in need help and then you help them, like you feel good about yourself and you're helping people, and it's an opportunity to become a better person within yourself.
Awesome. Thanks, Rylan. I'm sure it's made a big impact on him. Ms. Chamberlain, she's one of the peer listener advisors. And could you tell us, if you wouldn't mind, how you see people, probably other students, caring for other people or other students in the building?
Sure. Well, one of the groups here at BHS is the peer listening group. It's a group of kids who interview and go through learning some skill sets to help them work with other students to kind of be caring listeners. They really help people try and understand their own problems, come to their own solutions, and really they just kind of reach out to help make BHS a better school environment.
Here with Emma Griffin, and she's going to talk a little bit about her relationship with one of her friends from peer listening. So Emma, who do you spend some time with each week?
Anna, England. Her name is Anna England. She's a senior here at BHS.
Nice. And how does she care for you, would you say?
We usually meet once a week out of school, in school, out of the classroom, and we just talk about, what's going on, and she asks how I'm doing, and she's always checking up, and then we kind of solutionize if I have a problem that's going on, so.
Nice. Would you say that Anna's been an impact on your life?
Yeah, I'd definitely say Anna's been an impact on my life, for the better.
And I'm here with Anna England, and Anna, our friend Emma just spoke about you and said that you do a good job of caring about her. And I know you guys are peer listeners, and so you get to help out with some of that. But is being a peer listener necessary to care about somebody?
No, you can honestly care for literally everyone. If you just go up and see someone ask how they're doing, that can make someone say it a lot better than it was before. And just so give them a compliment or something, that can make them day a lot better.
Here with Ms. Minton, and she has one of her students that she'd like to talk a little bit about that does a good job of just caring for people around her. So who's the student you're thinking of?
Sarah Yates.
Nice. And what do you see her doing? What does she do for your classroom and the people around her here?
She just has an overall positive attitude. She's always asking me and others if she can help with something or if she can help them do something. Particularly this year, she has been really helpful to her group in all kinds of exercises. We've done a lot of group projects, and she's just been really aware of how others are feeling and making sure everyone's included and making sure everyone feels good about the project.
That's great. How has it helped out the classroom atmosphere? Has it helped out the
Absolutely.
community?
I think that her positivity and just the way that she conducts herself is infectious.
Mr. Narker, and Mr. Narker, if you wouldn't mind, could you tell us an example of someone that you've seen care for people around them?
Addison Tiffany displayed caring by bringing in a number of items for the women's shelter hygiene drive.
Cool. Yeah, those drives definitely go a long ways. Thanks, Mr. Narker. Sarah Huffman, she's a sophomore. Sarah, who is somebody that you would say has cared for you this year?
I'd say Sophie Bush has cared for me because she offered to take me to school every morning, and she goes out of her way, and she is older than me, but she doesn't look down on me like I'm younger than her, and she always is there for me whenever I need her, no matter what, and she doesn't judge me or anything, and she just goes out of her way to do things for me no matter what.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, what would you want to say to Sophie here, if you had a chance, just to say thanks or something like that?
Thanks for taking me to school every day and putting up with me and doing everything for me, no matter what, in any situation.
Cool.
Yes.
Thanks, Sarah. Ms. Dawkin here, and Ms. Dawkin, if you wouldn't mind, tell us about somebody who you see care for other people around them.
I have several students that care for a lot of their peers, but I have one in particular, Elise Schmidt, who really goes over and above in order to protect those that she doesn't feel are being treated fairly. So she really cares about them.
Cool. Thank you. Trevor Connolly. Trevor, a couple questions for you. Who is somebody in the school that you would say has cared for you?
Sean Callahan has.
Yeah? Well, how would you say he's cared for you this year?
Well, he's taken me to Young Life, and it's a camp, and it's really fun. And then over fall weekends, Young Life camp, he was my roommate, and he's taken me places, bought me some items, and he's just always there for me.
Cool. Thank you, Trevor. Here's Miss Anderson. Hey, would you mind telling us an example of someone or some people that you've seen care about others around you?
One thing that I've noticed this year is at Beaver Creek, we always have lots of kids that move in due to the military or things like that. And I've really noticed some kids this year go out of their way to try to include new students and make them comfortable here at the school, which in a school as big as Beaver Creek, it's easy to stick to the friends that you have, and so those students caring about these new students going out of their way is something really special we have here.
Cool. Thank you so much. Kayla Bennett, she's a sophomore here at the high school. Kayla, who is someone that has cared for you this year?
I would say someone that's cared for me is Madison Boer. She was not afraid to come up to me and say hi the first time we met, because I was all alone actually when we first met. She just came up and said hi, and she's not afraid to ask me to hang out. She likes to hang out with me, which is really fun. And it's just really nice because she's always there for me to talk to, and I know that it's a judge-free zone and definitely a caring zone. So it's just, she's really awesome.
How would you say, how's that made you feel, having someone like that care about you?
Makes me feel wanted, and it makes me feel appreciated, which I think is an awesome thing to feel.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kayla. Here with Eddie George, Mr. Wilson. I know we get them confused all the time. Hey, Mr. Wilson, who's somebody that you've seen care about people here at Beaver Creek?
I think we got a lot of really good examples here. If I had to take somebody specifically, I would say Noah Stamper. He's a senior who really sticks out as somebody who really goes out of his way to help other people, whether it be teammates, other students, somebody that he sees that has a need, giving people rides home, things like that. So Noah Stamper is somebody that really sticks out to me in that regard.
Awesome. I'm here with Ms. Dooley down in the counseling office, and if you wouldn't mind, Ms. Dooley, tell us how you've seen a student or students care for other people around them this year.
Well, as a counselor here at the high school, a lot of times students come down to talk to us because they're concerned about their friends. And so I think that's a great example of caring, is when students come down to share concerns that they have about a friend and to get them help. Just a great example of caring here at BHS.
Nice. Thank you.